Now, we don't blaspheme in here. We will never use Jiffy. So I'm going to teach you folks how to make good cornbread from scratch. What Dad can do. So the recipe for this can be modified as you feel. It's simply ratios instead of an exact measurement. So what I mean by that is this. For every cup of cornmeal, you'll need a half a cup of self-rising flour and a half a cup of sugar. We're going to make 1 full cup of cornmeal cornbread. All right, so we've got 1 full cup. That's the only full cup we're going to use. And now we need self-rising flour. We're going to need a half a cup of that. Half a cup goes in. Next thing we're going to need is that half a cup of sugar. And half a cup is all we need. You can make it a little less if you'd like, but we use the half a cup. Sometimes I drop it a little shy. Half a cup of sugar. All right. Now, from this point, what you need to do is mix your dry ingredients together. Now, you can use a fork or a whisk, but my little shortbread cutter or shortening cutter is my favorite tool for this. So I just simply go inside and blend them about until I see that my flour and my cornmeal are all commingled. All right. Now, that's the way we want it to look. And once that's all together and it looks like it's a single thing, I take my spatula and I make myself a little cavern. So just a little spot that opens up the center and make it almost like a little volcano. That makes it easy for our fluids to be held. Now, the fluid we're going to put in it, I use corn oil, and I'm going to put enough to cover the base of the bowl. Then I'm going to put about half as much water as there is corn oil. So I'll just take it over, add a bit of water. All right. And you'll get this result. It's going to look just like that. All right. So again, this is not an exact science. Plus or minus is not going to kill us. But you understand the ratios. From that point, you start stirring it in from the center. As you stir, the little volcano walls will start to fall in. You just hit them as you go. And that allows it to blend itself in without you fighting with it, trying to mix the dry and the wet ingredients together. Now, I like to keep it turning, and you'll see how it meshes together with the greatest of ease. So this is how we do it, and you don't have to have a blender. Just pull it in bit by bit. All right, and once it's blended fairly well, I like to grab the walls and do the final bit of mixing. All right. Simple and easy. All right. So if you've got muffin pans, or if you want to do it as a solid piece of cornbread, you can. But I like to have it as individual muffin pieces. And a non-stick muffin pan is perfect. I like the silicone one. And the oil inside of our mixture keeps it from sticking. Works out really, really great. And I got the measurement just about perfect here. So 1 scoop fills up a regular size muffin little receptacle. All right. Now you can drop yours just a little shy if you want them as tight little muffins. But if you're doing it in a regular pan, I cook it in the cast iron. I love cast iron. It heats so evenly, and the nonstick quality of it is just wonderful. If you got a glass top, you might want to think twice about it. I don't care. I prefer the attributes of the cast iron over a few scratches. So we've got 6 muffins, and I'm going to fill the center one with the excess and just make sure they're all roughly about even in size. And trust me, folks, this is delicious. Made with the things you have instead of a box. Kind of shake them down. I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Once that's all heated, we'll go ahead and put it in. The oven is ready for the cornbread. I'm going to put it in on somewhat center shelf, and it's all ready. Looks great. I'll put it in. I'll try to move as quickly as possible so I don't lose the heat, and we're going to let it run. Now, I watch my cornbread. The time frame may vary depending upon how much fluid is in it, whether it's a rainy day or not. If you folks bake, you know what I'm talking about. But with it not being an exact measurement, the best thing to do is to watch it. So when it starts to brown right around the rim of those muffins, that's when we're going to take it out. Anything that you're cooking, when you take it out of a warm oven or off of a warm eye, if you don't remove it, it's going to continue to cook a little while. So you want to remove it a little earlier if you are going to leave it in the pan or whatever. That's how some of you folks may think, oh, it's perfect, but you pull it out and all of a sudden it's dry or it seems overcooked. It's because it continues to cook, just like anything. The human skin's the same thing. If you get burnt, that's why they tell you to put cold water or ice on it. Your meat too, so you want to stop it from cooking. So the same concept with everything that you're cooking. You want to make sure you take it out of the heat as soon as possible. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that cornbread. Exactly what I mentioned, folks. I want you to take a look at this. I'll bring you in a little closer. Now, this cornbread looks perfect. As I mentioned before, you want to look for the browning around the edges here. And that light browning around the edges lets me know that we're good to go. Now, we can verify that, which I usually do, by getting a toothpick, or in this case, I use one of these skewers, the bamboo skewers, to check it. You just want to make sure that there is not any of the batter that comes out when you poke it. So I'm going to check a couple of them here. And it's coming out as dry as a bone. Now, you can feel when it goes in that there's still moisture within there, but that's what we want. We don't want it as a cracker. We want it as a muffin for cornbread. So I say the cornbread is perfect. Now, what I'm going to do is get it out of that pan really quickly here, because as I mentioned to you folks before, I do not want it to continue to cook. Now, this is pretty hot. So what I do is I'll take one of these silicone mats and I press it up from the bottom like this and put it right on over into a container. I'm going to do that with all of them. And I move fairly quickly and it keeps from burning me. Getting this center one's going to be a little more tricky. And the last one. There will be a little bit of heat because it's fresh out of the oven, but that's our cornbread. Looks great. Feels just right. It's not overcooked. And that is going to be a delicious addition to our stew and rice dinner. All right, folks.